I had a dream last night. I was talking about it in the prayer service. Nicole wanted me to share it. In my dream, I was sitting out in a field, just kind of minding my own business, and this man walked up to me. And in my dream, is somebody that I used to know, but I know that he was representing Jesus. And so I'm just going to say Jesus. Jesus walked up to me, and he kneels down on the grass in front of me, and he says, "Will you marry me?" And I start all of this analytical thinking about it, like, is this a logical decision for me? It's been a long time. I don't know what this is going to mean. But pretty soon, I just felt this love just coming towards me. And it was like I had to make a decision to trust. And so I said, yes. No, I don't know the future, but yes, I will trust you and I will marry you. And he gives me a ring. And this ring played prominently in the dream. And the more I thought about it, the more interesting it was. It looked like a braided 3-cord strand, which is symbolic of something that's not going to be broken. But it was made out of wood. And I was like, this is really interesting. Why is a wedding ring made out of wood? And I asked the Lord about it later, and he said, it is made of the wood of the cross of Christ. And so after that, in the dream, there was somebody was setting up a baptismal pool. And Jesus runs, and he's like the first in line to be baptized. And then a whole bunch of other people lined up behind him. And I see him looking through the crowd, and he's motioning to me, come get baptized with me. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I've been baptized before. It's okay. And but it was like this compulsion. It was a command to come get baptized. It was like, we cannot go no farther in our relationship if you don't come and put away the past and step into the new. And so I did that. And one thing that was interesting, and I've had dreams like this before, where I suddenly realized that he has every provision there already for me. I was not planning on getting baptized that day, but he had 2 towels already, one for himself and one for me. He was not going to let me, get out of there and go around sopping wet. And so he had that provision. And then the other thing, going back to the rings, I was still contemplating this ring made out of wood, and I realized that ring was on my right hand. And I was like, that's weird. And then I look at my left hand, and on my left hand is a gold ring. But it was not nearly as prominent in the dream as the wooden ring. And I realized that the gold ring symbolizes our promise of heaven. And we're all invested in heaven. We know we're going to heaven. What we aren't so sure about in our everyday lives is that he's here with us, married to us now, through the cross and his finished work. And he's calling us to step into that new life. And I also wanted to share, Richard was talking about where are we going to see signs and wonders. And I wanted to share some things. This was a really incredible week for me. It almost feels like a year long. For one thing, my family has been praying for my nephew. He got married last summer in the middle of COVID, and they moved to Indiana where he's been going to school, and they knew they're looking for some kind of job, and they're both very specific in what they want for work, and we thought, oh great, they're gonna move to Florida or something. We're never gonna see them again. And so we've been praying for them, and this week they got notified that both he and his wife were offered excellent jobs at the same Christian institution in Washington State. And so that's an answer to prayer. And then I also, for me personally, last week when Rebecca was sharing about let go of being a misfit, I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know if this really applies to me. And then all of a sudden, the Lord just pinpointed something over the last, a long while, but especially the last few months. I have just been saying, the word says, seek the kingdom of God first, and everything else will be added to you. So how do I live this? I just want to press in to seeking the kingdom of God. And yet I think I had in my mind what everything else added to you has to look like. And I didn't realize that I really bought into the world's perspective of what success looks like. And I had just been pressuring myself to do this and this and this and this exactly right so that I can look successful. And I realized that I have felt like a misfit most of my life because I've been seeking the kingdom, and success in the world doesn't look like that. And so the instant that I said, okay, God, I let go of that, I let go of this quote unquote trauma of being a misfit, the pain that I had been struggling with in my back since the beginning of the year instantly left. And well, it almost completely instantly left, and then through the week it got pretty much completely gone. Now this morning, as I said in prayer, it was a little bit back, but other people said they had back pain this morning or neck pain when they woke up, and I think we just got to keep pushing those false expectations off and what the enemy wants to do. And then the other amazing thing that happened this week is that, and again, it goes with, I'm seeking the kingdom of God first, and everything else is going to be added to me. I think I'm going to cry. Somebody gifted me a car. And and I have been so shocked, I've been almost mute about it. And the Lord is finally going, you have to testify. Because I've just been wrestling with God. Look, I didn't earn this. And in some ways, he can say, you've been seeking my kingdom first. In a way, you did earn it. But it's not about earning. He's just like, can I bless you, please? And that's the kind of life that we can expect when he puts that wooden ring on our finger and we go into baptism and say, I'm going to let go of the way the world does stuff. And I'm not saying that I've arrived at anything. I'm sure I'm going to still continue to struggle. But I also just think that the car also is a symbol of a new life. And I've gotten in the other car, my old car, and was like, wow, I forgot how bad this rattled when I drove it. I forgot how bad I got in it every morning. Was like, is the heater gonna work? I don't know. But I had gotten used to it. It was like, oh, okay, this is just the way life is. And God says, no, life is way better than what you're living right now.